Good morning, everyone. We don't usually look at the euro. I mean, I keep an eye on it and other currencies, but I just thought I'd throw the question out there. Do you think it's going to be around in a few years? I know many in the room are from Europe or maybe have other insights. Down below parity. I think that's good speculation. It certainly hasn't been able to get out of its own way here for a while, grinding down and, looking at it from a little bit of a longer term chart back where in 2000, it made its high and pretty much in a bear market there. And looks like it's heading back down to those lows. Yeah, looks like it'll keep going down. So we shall see. And the dollar keeps going up. So, and where's my dollar index? Oh, I got the UUP there. You can see them. It's got lots of gaps and what have you, because this is just an ETF. Anyway, you could see, and it's coming up to the old high. So there's going to be a test of that up here in this area. But you go back, way back, I don't know if they had this back then, was way higher back, I think, in 1999, 2000. I don't know if I get that symbol. No, I don't. No, politicians will do that, Vincent. It's like, I'm going to say certain things. I forget what it goes to, that they eat their children. Anyway. So yesterday wasn't much of a day. It was kind of like, will it go up? Will it go down? Is today the day that it's going to break up to new all-time highs? And it just stayed in a trading range there. So we've got this topping tail right from the 17th and the bottoming tail bar from the 18th. So no one's won. And so can it get above here as it's inching its way up toward that high, assuming that it does get there. And ultimately that, that's the void left area. As long as it can clear these pivot highs up here, it tried to about an hour ago, and it came back in. However, it's still, hanging at the upper part of that wide range bar on the hourly. So far, I would say bullish to neutral. And as long as it stays above this swing low right here, I think it's just building up steam to push up toward the old high. And when, up through that, then, up in this area. But it really, I'm not expecting too much because of the run that it's had here. And you can see the stall in the momentum here. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, well, it's up to the bulls to lose it. They certainly are in control. But this pattern where you've got this higher high doji bar is one in which historically, you just look at tons and tons of charts. It's like, okay, this bar would be a red bar setting a high, and then it would pull back. And that is, I don't know how this is going to end by the, by week's end, but I've just seen that pattern a lot. And so we'll see. Right now, it's just stalled at resistance. It's not going down. It hasn't broken a prior bar's low. Clearly, buyers stepped up in the face of what could have turned into a pullback, at least toward the 20, and this little congestion there. So let's hope that we get some action today. We've got some things that are moving on earnings that are up nicely. And we got other things that are down. It's kind of a mix today. You can just eyeball the colors here. The yellow with red and the green and black. Interesting, this stock here, this biotech, which was, fueling on a rocket yesterday, is coming back down to earth today. So that's the risk with these little biotech stocks that fly and crash. There's probably people just dying trying to get out of this thing. How are they going to survive the day without getting crushed, which they already are. But anyway, well, big boys and girls, press the button. You got to be able to handle. So spiders, we'll start with the spiders, then we'll go to the futures. Same story. Trading range action here. Trading between the reference points, and we'll see what this can bring. It can hold up here and then attack up that 291 area. It's 291.50. It's not that far away. So you would think, with these earnings, some of these things that are gapping up nicely here, you can see Facebook up almost 2 points, QCOM up 2 points, Lyft, bouncing off here, CDNS up 3.5. Netflix down. It did well yesterday. And so Apple down a little bit, Amazon up again, Roku coming back to life, and so on. You can go through the list. But same story, up against the resistance there, hesitancy to commit. But I like the fact that it did try and dip down like that, and it survived, bottoming tail, a gap down, and it came back up. And it's up near the highs there, which is suggestive that it could go up. And yesterday, when we talked about this, I said, based on where things were near the bottom of the range or close to it, buyers should step up there at the open, and they did. And they pushed it up, and it was just kind of a hangout rest of the day. Same story with the Qs. You got this pattern of, let me just get a drawing tool. The gap up, the attempt to go down, the gap. So this pattern right here is one that says that buyers have taken control in this area, especially on the gap down and reversal, and trading up through here should get prices pushing up through 190. Trading back below, this looks like 187, I guess, 187, just above that area here. If it comes down here, well, that bottoming tail may come into a little play, but I think if this green bar fails, it may stall there intraday, but ultimately I would look for it to come down here. So our lines in the sand always starts with the prior bars low and the prior bars high. And as long as it's inside, it's just a yawn of nothingness that's going on. And we'll just wait to see which way it goes. The weekly is already new closing high up here. So it's made its move, and things intraday here in the market, pre-market, still look pretty darn good. I'm asking what's going on with IBB. Someone's asking me in YouTube. I don't know. I'm happy to take a look. Maybe that little biotech stock is playing havoc with it. Oh, this is just the healthcare sector getting its butt kicked. Hot monster. Look anywhere through any in healthcare, nothing survived. It's just different degrees of getting killed. And so started with the healthcare providers a week or so ago, and that led into the pharmaceuticals. So you can see Merck getting smashed. Yeah. Humana has been going down, and it's the same way across the board. So that's what's going on with IBB. I wanted to review. Bitcoin looks good. Right? I had the Bitcoin futures here. Anyway, bottoming pattern. They're pushing up. Looks like it can go higher. That could work out. Oh, you guys are starting to work me today. Okay, PV. Sloppy. I don't know if earnings are coming out. I don't have my other platform open to check earnings, but you might consider an Iron Condor on something like this unless earnings are coming out. You've got a trading range in place here. You know, so it's right in the middle of the range. So that makes sense for an Iron Condor if you want to take a look at that. Yeah. Guys, by the way, MT Live, bring your best idea tomorrow to Dan and I. Tell us why you like it. We'll go through it. We'll tell you why we think it's good. We'll tell you if we think we can make the idea better. I'll tell you if it sucks. That you don't know what you're doing. Put it bluntly. You know, maybe you need to get a little education. You know, so a little tough love. But yeah, come there. I'll post it in there in a little bit. Okay, we'll be here on YouTube as well. Dr. Pepper. Yeah, just 5.9. There you go. Thank you, trader. That's one reporting earnings. So Russell, sitting on the edge of the cliff, was able to hold yesterday. Have a neutral day, sitting right there on the converging 20 and 50. And so we're keeping an eye on this to see whether this breaks down here. It breaks down through last week's low. You know, we're looking at the Qs showing this relative strength and the spiders, you know, that look like they can go up. And we've got this Russell that looks like, well, maybe it can. It's pulled back a few days, but it's an overall sloppy pattern. So going to get above yesterday's high, or is it going to break below yesterday's low? Factory work. All right, let's see which way it goes from there. It's broken this low on the gap reversal, but maybe this is repairing the damage similar to what happened here. And I don't know that it is, but this was a miraculous recovery from a new high and a nasty gap down, if you remember that day. And then after 4 days of trying to go lower, it couldn't, and buyers came back in, and here we are. So we shall see. The transports look great. They're bringing up the rear. That's their MO, so to speak. They underperform, and then they bring up the rear, and this looks like it can go higher up in this area. The rails have been doing very well. Can't type today. No, it's not what I typed. Actually, beautiful trend. You know, there's a breakout yesterday. It stalled, but you know, it's been going up for a bit, but it looks really good. You could take a look at the other rails as well. They look pretty darn good. Looking at the futures, you can go through these quickly. Well, same story. Trading range, just going nowhere. Qs, just a grinder. You know, buying the dips intraday. You're starting the day with a little baby narrow range bar, and you can see, you know, the little range up there. Looks like it can push up above the highs and continue to push up higher. And here's the Dow, same story, 3 days going sideways, trading range, so on and so forth. You know, so we got this similar pictures across the board. Bonds finding a few buyers here in the support. You want to keep an eye on that. Set an alert if you're using TLT. All right. Set an alert up here. And if it gets through that, that may put a little pressure on equities. So keep an eye on that. Gold is breaking down here. So which suggests it's going to go lower. It had a, you know, 3-4 days of trying to hold here, and now it's breaking lower. You can see the breakdown on the hourly. It's got room to go down, so that looks like it needs to go down somewhere. All right, just look to the next level to the left there, where it might stop. So you got the 200 lurking down below there in alignment with this congestion. So if you're a gold bug, you're trading gold futures, go with the trend. There's the ETF, which is breaking down now, and same story. There's the congestion. There's the 200 MA. Oil holding up nicely after the push up. We've been looking at this nice uptrend. I explained about this uptrend and why you should print it out, mark it up as a lesson. Went through that yesterday, and these energy ETFs finally found a little, let's say, conviction in the buys versus, willing to buy the dips and continuing to buy there. And so not huge days, but still moving in the right direction. And the laggard XLE, plastered right up against the 200 and starting to push up. So looking good. Looks good. It's got every reason, with oil going up like that to push higher. And I guess now it's starting to move. I mean, it made its move at the beginning of the year with everything else. And then it just kind of chopped around for the longest time. And so just, okay, let's get it going here. This sector has been, for a few months, been dead money. And technology has had a hell of a run. Can it just keep going forever and ever? Not likely. I mean, money just tends to gravitate out of winners into losers. But so far, this looks like, like this could blast up to $80, the whole number up there. So we'll see what happens. And look at old Twitter coming to life here. Right? Breaking out of this range after that nasty gap down a couple of months ago. It survived. It looks pretty darn good. All yours, Dan.
All right, good morning. Thank you. Just in time for my lawn man to fire up his John Deere, so I hope it's not a problem. We have a lot of opens, and they're all doing wonderful, so I'd rather focus on the gaps here first, and then we'll come back to them unless anybody has a specific question on anything. Yeah, I had Roku in a gap list here also. Greg mentioned it, $60. It's not a directional, but you all know the drill. We love reversals to sell options around, so I like it as a put spread candidate. HP had earnings, little gap and crap pre-market. It's extended, no interest. Again, remember, I'm looking for tier. Oh shoot! Sorry, I did not give you the link. There we go. So at the open, I'm looking for tier ones, which I define as the RIPE, R-I-P-E, for possible entry in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes. Otherwise, I'll come back to them and see how they set up in the first 30. Watt is getting taken out to the cleaners here today. $200 is right on this monthly breakout. So that actually is worthy. Let's see what happens. True, 69 and change. It's gapping down here. I'll come back to it. Flat, messy, no interest. 101. That's a bullish gap, not the cleanest because it's so far here from the 20, but it's a gap up from this 3-day sideways. And the weekly and monthly have room, but it's not a tier 1, so I'll come back to it. PHM, 31 and change. It's far from the 20, no interest now. Trader gave me this one. It's a 1, 2, 3 after breakdown failure. That's a 30-minute high, and it's not earnings. It's just a trade. This is a earnings, but with no pattern. Look what all these tails. I had no interest in that. CNC 48 up a little bit, downtrend. Oh, and I'm also looking for compelling pre-market when I trade these gap trades. PG started off, well, you can see first 15-minute bar there, 104.65 gapping down, but it's a mess. Yeah, I got Coke on my list here, sure. 86.30 bearish gap, could be a day trade short. You know, has room. So that's a day trade watch, EDU, and or call spread. Remember, on earnings trades, I love selling call and put spreads within the first hour with the high volatility, provided we, of course, would give a compelling pattern and the options are liquid and juicy. 150. Wow, I'm shocked at the size of the gaps from Hasbro. You thought he was just a little innocent toy store. And I remember the last few earnings, they're huge. Like percent-wise, bigger than these FANG stocks. No pattern though, we'll come back to it. LMT had some euphoria here pre-market, went up to 340. Nothing to do. NUE, sloppy. I haven't found one tier one yet. 455, so it was weak coming back here pre-market, no pattern. Tech, 25 and change. I don't like the pre-market action. Verizon 57.70. I don't like the pre-market. We'll come back to it. Whirlpool 145.45. Possibly, if we can get this pre-market here to give us a double bottom after the market opens, then maybe a put spread candidate. It has on the monthly has room to 160. I'm going to put that in the second window here. RRC is a mess. Hog is a hog. UTX around 140, but we'll come back to it. Twitter. That's a nice monthly, actually. Look at all these bars and tails and red bars ignored. Let's watch that. Oh, this TCBI right here is a long watch from yesterday. Is a 1, 2, 3. Coke. I don't like the pre-market. Let's see how it sets up. This was a new one we bought yesterday, courtesy of Trader. Look at that beautiful 15-minute chart. We actually bought that breakout right there. And now it's gapping up a little bit, so that's good. GMS, nothing. UFO. Okay, I'm getting into others. Yeah, our UFO, our new ETF. Expo. Oh, that turned ugly. So I'm into yesterday's trades now. That was a 1, 2, 3. Some of these healthcare stocks bouncing a little more. All right, so I got through those. 1 minute to spare. Now let's go back to opens. OII is a new trade today over yesterday's high. It's posted in the open spreadsheet. So is Yum. Glancing at my opens here. Zao, XOP, Matador, LDOS, AEIS, McDonald's, CBK, XHG, Apple, XLU, Lyft, Mighty Mo, W, Merck. Well, Merck didn't trigger yet. That was yesterday. And it's about to trigger. Hey, this might be a swing trade also. Futures are kind of stalled. Oh, Lulu from yesterday didn't trigger, but now it did. So now we just need our limit entry on the put spread. Alex is looking at MDT. Yeah, that ain't bad. I still like Merc better, Alex, because of the fluidness of the bars down. On Climos, we like relatively equal opens and closes. And this one, there's a lot more overlapping bars. For a swing, I mean, a day trade looks fine. I'm just looking at a few more opens here. SJM, we're in Lyft. Trader told me that it got a ton of upgrades yesterday, which I did. Well, a couple things. Maybe they finally got one right and timing. For us, we just care about the charts, and I don't care if they were all downgrades. In fact, if it got 11 downgrades, that would have made this pattern even better. Why? Because a stock that goes up on good news, I mean bad news, is bullish. CBS, I had posted yesterday under $52. This thing is still weak. The sector, we're short this in the ETF. GPN, I think Trader, you mentioned that one yesterday. I mean, or Alex, it looks good. Dropbox, I put on my list yesterday just because of that big old bar, and now it's questionable. We have a few oil stocks I like. This was one, Fang. Hess. OII. All right, OII looks like it's triggering right now, or maybe in a penny. Some retail's got their clocks clean yesterday, like a SIG. In our, which one are we in? SKT, up 6 cents. I tightened the stop yesterday. Our McDonald's covered call looks good. Jill. Yeah, over the high, swing trade and or put spread. It looks, yeah, I like a put spread better. They don't have any even dollars, unfortunately. And earnings are 5.7, so we can't do the May 17 as earnings. Diamond Offshore was on my list yesterday. Ooh, look at that continued strength. Look, that's hard to get on board. But it looks higher. PDCE was on my list. Oh, that looks good. That still has room for a swing. Maybe do a 10-minute high or so. Let's keep an eye on that. XOP, these things still look higher. Yeah, they all look higher. We're in, you know what?